guys are.
So can you kind of give us some spoilers what we're going to see for the next season?
I think the biggest shift from last season to this season is it's the kids' senior year. So we know that after this year, we're going to say about a high school, so we're doing as much high school stuff as we can. Going back a little bit to season 1, kind of the archetypes and icons that we sort of deconstructed. So Archie's going to be back on the football team, Cheryl's going to be back with the Vixens, Betty's going to be back on the newspaper staff, Veronica's going to be back, causing drama. So that's, I think, the big thing, this idea that this is the last time this group of people may be together at the same school or together as friends is kind of the big kind of theme about that.
So I feel like with the finale, we almost saw another finale in a finale.
Yeah.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, there's always one or two or three mysteries that are percolating along, and the flash forward that you saw at the very end of the finale is something that we'll be building up to as the season happens. Every episode we're going to do a flash forward that gives you another little piece of that story.
Okay.
And then kind of at the midpoint of the season we're going to do that night, and then we're going to kind of play out the ramifications and consequences of that over the second half of the season.
So you were planning that from like the beginning of last season?
No, about halfway or 3/4 of the way through the season, usually we have to go in and pitch the end of the season and then kind of give an idea of the next season. So I think it was about halfway or 3/4 of the way through that we kind of started really talking about what the next season would be, what the mystery would be. And that's how that happened.
Does it feel like you're always building towards the mystery or towards the characters?
That's a really good question. Last year, for instance, we did the Gargoyle King, which kind of took over the season and was a really good villain. This year, I think we are telling more character-based stories. Season 1, there was a mystery to solve, which was who killed Jason Blossom, but there wasn't a killer. There wasn't a serial killer. Once you put a serial killer in the show, it's kind of like you're running away from the serial killer. So we're telling a kind of a slower burn mystery that'll allow us to tell character stories as well.
I love the musical episodes. I love all the flashbacks. Can we expect more of this?
Yeah, I think people really look forward to the musical. It's as I say every year, which is, we did a great job with Carrie. It was like, okay, well, if we're doing a musical, it's got to somehow be better than Carrie. And then we did Heather's, and I really loved it. So it's always about finding the right musical that fits in with the stories we're telling, and then we'd love to. I think we will. I think we will do one. And the flashback, we're talking about a very different kind of flashback, which would be even more of a period piece than what we did this year. We could maybe go truly to the 40s or 50s.
When you talk about focusing more on the characters, I feel like the last few seasons have focused more on relationships and less on the friendships. But maybe it's a question, if you have more time to focus on the characters and less on the mystery, can we see more of the friendship?
Yeah, I think it was I think the finale. One of the things people loved about the finale last year was that it was the four of them in the challenge together, and usually whatever the mystery is, it usually falls on one or two of the kids, but not the other ones. So you've got one or two connected to the mystery, and the other two are kind of like doing their own things. This year, that flash forward, it involves all of our kids, so I think it will be more of a friendship story. But we're also going to see, in episode 2 is a really big Archie Reggie story. Episode 2 has a really wonderful Kevin and Betty story. They were best friends in the pilot. So we are kind of, and we've got Betty and Veronica together. So I do think that there will be more friendships, and there'll be more scenes of them together. Both of Veronica's parents are in jail, so Veronica's always having sleepovers at her house. So I think we'll be doing that stuff.
Go ahead. So Penelope turned out to be the big baddie from season 3, and then skipped town after Eve came to light. Can we hope to see Penelope in season 4, or is there a new villain to be wary of?
There's always someone new to be wary of. I love Natalie Bolt, who plays Penelope. As we were figuring out where everyone ended up, we sort of wanted Penelope to escape, assuming that she will come back at some point to torment the kids. I think you'll probably see her again.
So one of my favorite episodes was where the kids were kind of mimicking their parents playing back. It was absolutely brilliant. Like, will we see any other type of episode that's like that?
Yeah, no, I think so. You mean the flashback episode?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure we will. That was something, that we had talked about season 1. And I think it was really fun to see for Lily to play Alice and for KJ to play Luke, and it was it was I think a real challenge, and they did great. Yeah, and people loved it.
It was the best.
Yeah.
Will we get to see any more characters from the Archie universe in this coming season?
That's a really good question. We have a lot of characters. Well, Chick Cooper, who is Betty's half brother, who we met at the end of the finale, he will be around. And there are a couple of new characters. I think they're new inventions, not even in the comic books. I think that's true. But yeah, we'll always pop up. One thing that's nice is that with Katie Keene being in the same universe, but sort of in New York, we are dropping little hints about Katie Keene. Like, for instance, we're doing a Halloween episode, and Katie Keene is going to do the costumes for it. So we're doing little hints like that.
And can we expect anybody to come back? Like you're saying, Katie Keene and Josie in New York. Will we see them still around?
Yeah, I don't think it's a surprise, but Ashley's coming back for the first episode, and if we do a graduation episode, I'd love for Ashley to graduate with her class and her friends. We're really open to it. And people always come back, even when they die, they come back. So I think we'll see some familiar faces. For instance, I love Chuck Clayton, Jordan Calloway, I think, who plays Chuck Clayton. I love that guy. I love that character. He was busy doing Black Lightning, but I think he's less busy doing Black Lightning. So hopefully we'll have him on our show. Last year we introduced a character when Archie was in juvie called Mad Dog, played by Eli, who's just wonderful, and he's going to be around a lot. And his real name is Monroe Moore, by the way. He'll be Mad Dog no more. That was his name when he was in juvie. We're going to see a lot more of Molly Ringwald, which is really wonderful. So no, I think we'll have a lot of people visiting. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See how.
Good, how are you?
Not bad.
Sorry, we're cutting out.
No worries, take your time. It's all good.
Without giving too much away from the storylines or from the whatever you can tease, how does the relationship of the core four develop for this season?
Well, as you guys may be aware, we're pretty much left in the dark when it comes to the scripts and the storylines for each season. The writers love keeping us on our toes. But I do know that, we're kind of going back to the theme of season 1. A lot of high school stuff. I think we're going to be embracing our senior year and making the most out of that. And I think we're going to see a lot of the nitty-gritty kind of relationship stuff with the core four. Is what we're focused on.
So, what has it been like for you as an actor to just explore so many facets facets of Archie's character, because we've seen him go very, very dark and then kind of find himself in a new light. So what's it been like for you before that?
It's been exhausting. No, it's great. Honestly, I'm constantly, learning about new things about Archie. I think, these different situations that the writers put him in, the way that he reacts and stuff, I'm constantly learning from. It would be nice for him to catch a break at some point, but I'm excited for the future.
I feel like they're not going to let that happen.
Probably not. Probably
Make
not.
for good TV.
Yeah.
So we heard that Archie's going to be back on the football field and maybe a little less boxing next season.
Yeah.
So what did you prefer as an actor? Did you like doing the heavy lifting of boxing and shirtless Archie in every episode, or are you happy to get back on the field?
I'm happy to get back on the field for sure. I think we pretty much did all the boxing that we could have done. There was a lot of boxing last season, but I think a bit of both every now and then would be great. I think it would be nice to jump back into football. I love football too, so yeah.
Can you talk about the physicality of that? So how much training did you
Lots of training, lots of boxing training. Honestly, that's probably, I was talking to them about it. It's probably one of the hardest parts of the job is finding time to go to the gym, because they have my shirt off every day, so it's important to kind of to stay lean. But yeah, that's it's tough, but it's good. That's why I'm ready to be wearing some clothes, and football allows me to do that.
Roberto just told us we're going to see a lot more Mad Dog this season.
Yeah.
What was it like working with Eli again?
Eli's the man. Eli is a legend. I really look up to that guy. He's one of the most disciplined guys that I know, and being on set with him is great. He doesn't eat for he does these intermittent fastings. So he won't eat for 16 hours, and then at lunchtime, when it's time for him to eat, he's got literally, I'm not kidding, 6 stacks of plates, tinfoil of food, and he just eats the whole thing in one go. He's a beast.
What is that?
He's a legend.
Does that build more muscle? Or?
Well, it's just his way of, it's just his routine, I guess. It's what he does. Yeah.
A real life Jughead.
Yeah, we've worked. Yeah, we've worked out a couple times together. He's a little too intense for me, but it's good.
So does Archie have plans after college or for college?
I'm not sure. I'm sure he's got some things up his sleeve. It's not really my decision to make.
Relationship-wise, what are you looking forward to seeing from Archie this season? Is there something you want to see happen?
Yeah, I think with the passing of Fred, I think it's going to be inevitable that him and his mum get a lot closer. And that is something that we will be kind of exploring this season is Archie's relationship with Mary, which we haven't really gotten to see. I think it'll be nice for the audience to kind of see the dynamic of that relationship. It also gives me a chance to get to know Molly more, which is great, because we don't get to work together that often.
I know that's not your decision, but do you kind of hope to see that carry over to the season about Fred and about them? Because grieving is not a thing that takes a month or so.
Yeah, I think for sure there'll be moments where we dip in and out of, Fred will always be a part of Riverdale, and I think he was such an important part of the town. So yeah, we're definitely going to be going back to stuff like that for sure.
In the dynamics on the set, do the actors get to contribute much to the storyline with the writers and producers? And if so, where would you like it to go?
Okay, we don't really get as much as people think. But if I could, I would make it so that we did a crossover with Sabrina. And she does a spell on me which gets all my scars away, so that I don't have to spend 3 hours in makeup when I have my shirt off. 'Cause remember, I got attacked by a bear?
Yes.
Ridiculous. Didn't even get to see the bear. It was good though. It's good.
So what has it been like for you to experience just the ever-growing fandom for this series? Because I feel like each year it just grows bigger and bigger. Then you come out to Comic-Con now and you see and there's the cosplay and all of that.
We were all talking earlier before about how the first season we got here and there was pretty much no one really knew about what was going on. And then slowly, second season was holy shit, this is real. A lot of people are watching. But it's nice to see like all the fans in one spot and seeing how people react to the show and stuff like that. It's pretty surreal. It's pretty surreal. I don't think I'll ever get used to it.
Since we're at Comic Con, I want to know what superhero you
Spider-Man.
Yeah. That was easy. Thank you.
Well, I wonder if, sorry, maybe this is heavy for a last question, but I wonder if we could take us through Archie's psychology a little bit. I mean, he has such a firm moral center, and once he decides on the right path, he is unflinching in pursuing that, no matter the cost to himself even.
Yeah.
So, sort of as the actor behind that, where does your mind go? Can you take us in that psychology?
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot too. I think he's such a good person, and he's always looking out for everyone. He would literally take a bullet for probably anyone. And I think he gets that a lot from his old man. I mean, he was brought up mostly by his dad, and they spend a lot of time together. And I think Archie's forever trying to be, as good as a man as Fred was, because Fred has those exact same traits, and we see a lot of that in that first episode. Different characters kind of talking about their experiences and memories that they had with Fred, which kind of bring a lot of that stuff up. And when you guys watch that episode, you'll realize why Archie is that way, is because Fred's been that way his whole life too. So I think, I think it comes from his old man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, guys.
Hi.
You look gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. So 3 hours of hair and makeup will do that. How's it going? All right, give it to me. I've never done a round table by myself. I have no one to deflect on now. I can deflect on you.
Yeah, I'll take it.
You're next to me. Thank you.
Okay, we're friendly.
Should we all just stare at each other?
Okay, I'll start. We have seen Cheryl in so many different roles, the Serpents and then with the Vixens. So what are you excited to see her character do, going forward?
That's funny that you say that. I always say that she is the only character on Riverdale who's been a serpent, a poison, a pussycat, and a vixen. And I think that's what I love about her is the versatility. But I think it would be nice, because I think the versatility is, again, another facade that she's put up. I think it'd be nice for her this year to focus on her mental health, which obviously is at a very bad place, and to focus on her relationship and getting into a good college and figuring out who Cheryl is. Do I think she'll do those things? I'm not sure, but I hope she does.
So as you continue to, peel back the layers of this character and explore kind of what she just said, are you anything you find you're surprised to learn about yourself as an actress, and what's been the most enjoyable part of it?
Thanks for asking some fantastic questions. I think every day is a challenge with Cheryl, and I think that's why I don't think I could ever get bored of playing her, and don't think that's very common in TV. When you're doing 4, 5, 6, 7 years of the same character, it becomes a lot of monotony, and I don't feel monotonous ever with Cheryl, and I think that's what surprises me the most about her, is that I really thought, if I got to be on a show ever for 4 years, I was like, oh man, how do you keep that character alive and interesting? And she already is alive and interesting, and that is very enjoyable. Yeah.
I'm sure you can't go into specifics, but how does the body in the basement affect Cheryl's relationship?
As of right now, we haven't really delved into that. She's keeping the secret from Tony. I don't imagine that's going to go over well, and I think Tony will be hopefully very concerned about her mental health. Edgar kind of reopened this wound for Cheryl, and I think a lot of fans were like, oh my god, Cheryl's just like that shit now. No, Cheryl is like, that wound was reopened for her, and it was such a awful, her dad killed her brother, and her mom tried to kill all of her friends, and she's got this terrible life. And the only person who really loved her was her brother, and so when she got that wound reopened, it was like she didn't know how to fix it, and so she just took the body home with her, which doesn't make sense to a lot of people. And I'm not saying I would do that, but I am saying that it's really actually sad, and it's heartbreaking that she's doing that. I'm not sure how it's going to go with her relationship, but hopefully it'll create some waves, because that's what happens when things like that happen. I'm imagining if those things happen in real life. The body would definitely be decomposed by now. Let's be real.
So there was somewhat of a peace between the Serpents and the Pretty Poisons at the end of last season. Do you think that peace is going to last, or?
I know it looks like you hope it doesn't. It looks like you're hoping it doesn't last. But I think it will. I think that they're probably going to end up merging together, and maybe Tony and Jughead can run them together. That'd be nice.
Co-captains?
Co-captains?
I like it.
Wouldn't be mad at that.
I feel like Cheryl always comes in as the badass character to save the day. So how fun is that for you? Because it's usually at the end they're like, okay, we're gonna go for her, and she's coming in to fix it all.
It's very fun. I love doing archery, which is always her go-to for saving the day.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, it just keeps my life fun and interesting. I never do the same thing twice on the show, which is fantastic.
how is it like delving into like the mental health aspect of it all? Because we don't really get to see that as much on TV, especially in what we consider younger shows.
Right. Well, it's so important, especially in this day and age when half of the people that I see on Twitter identify with anxiety or some sort of depression or mental health issue. And I think that's very important that we bring that to, everyday media. And it's a lot of work before you come to work to figure out what that means and how those things play and how that affects Cheryl. And then hopefully we can address that in the show. That's the hope.
So are we going to see more Betty and Cheryl this season?
Hopefully. I know that you're going to see some Veronica and Cheryl teaming up.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yes, girl, I'm in.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Everyone's like looking at you, and we needed a moment.
That's very kind.
So, how is it? Like, it feels like Riverdale always does at finale. That's like, what happened here?
Yeah.
So, a little bit of how is it for you as an actor to be like, it's always gonna end in a bang, and how do we go from that?
Well, it's like every episode feels like that to me. I'm always like, what at the end of every episode, something is going to be revealed or something is going to happen. It's going to be a cliffhanger. So it's always super exciting to get a script. I always read it right away. But I mean, where do we go from here? It's kind of like, the last season finale was so intense and set up the mystery for season 4. I guess we'll see. It's kind of this huge mystery, this big question mark alongside them being in senior year. So I feel like it's going to be a lot of a balance between them being normal kids and then them being in Riverdale and it being Riverdale and everything that comes along with being in Riverdale.
How does the introduction of Betty and Jughead's brother play into that? It obviously raises the stakes, but is there a new level of awkwardness because they've had to they've somewhat contended with the fact that their parents have this history, but now there's an actual human being in front of them.
Representative of it, right, and that he's in their lives. I think, so you see Betty and Charles spending time together. Charles is working for the FBI, trying to track down Edgar, and you find out that Alice was working with him. And so Betty actually goes to the FBI office to help Charles try and do the best that she can, helping him, her being, a teenager in high school, all that she can do to help the FBI. Maybe not so much, but using her resources around her to try and help get her mom back. Clearly that's her first priority. Yeah.
So I feel like all the characters on the show have so many different layers to them, especially Betty though. Like what has been your favorite aspect of exploring like dark Betty's side and what are the challenges that go along with that?
I mean, I think I'm incredibly lucky to play a character who has gone through so much. Everyone's like, oh my God, give Betty a break. But to be honest, that's what makes it so fun for me, because I think it would be quite boring to play a character that didn't struggle or have anything going on in her life. So to me, I'm very grateful. Yeah, clearly, your heart goes out to Betty because she's gone through so much, but it's also so nice for me as an actor to play someone who has so much on their plate and has such high stakes in her life and has so much ambition, because it just makes her that much more interesting and that much more dimensional. It's amazing to play and challenging, which makes coming to work easy after, we're in our 4th season playing the same character. It's not boring. Like, I still enjoy playing her because she still has new sides that you're discovering.
Are we going to see more B&B this season?
I hope so. I hope so. B&B are my favorites, so that's something that I'm really pushing for.
So on top of all the senior year struggles, since Betty and Jughead will be doing long distance, how does that affect their relationship?
I don't know yet. I think, he's going to be going to prep school, and that is going to create distance between the two of them, like physical distance. I think they're going to try their best to stay emotionally connected, but I think, they might be maybe pulled in some different directions. I really couldn't tell you. I don't know. But as of the beginning of season 4, they're going strong and very supportive of each other.
Well, if you could write the script, how would it read?
What would it be?
How would it read?
Like what would happen?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Happiness? Maybe like just a break. I mean, I think there's going to be a Halloween episode, which is really exciting. Something we've wanted to do for a while. So that's going to be fun. But someone will probably die. So maybe not. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Also, congratulations on Hustlers.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Running ready. It's very efficient.
How's it going?
Good, how are you? Doing good?
Bright and early.
Doing good, doing well. Yeah, it is bright and early. Oh my gosh, is that a tarot card?
It is.
Coffee.
It's
the coffee. That's amazing.
It's my two favorite things together.
I'm gonna start with an easy, non-Riverdale question because we're at Comic-Con. I want to know what superhero you would like to play. Who would you?
I think the thing is, I'm not super familiar or connected to superheroes in a way where I really identify with one, if that makes sense. But if, from what I know, I feel like I would fit probably into the Catwoman, Batgirl vibe, something in that world. Yeah.
So we have seen many different musical episodes, and Roberto was kind of talking about there's going to be another one.
Yeah.
Do you have a dream musical that you would like the cast to do?
Yes, and I was just saying it at the other table, and I joked around with Roberto. I was like, Sweeney Todd, Roberto? Sweeney Todd? Because I love that musical so much, and I think it would fit perfectly in this world. I could see Jughead playing the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. So, yeah, and maybe Betty or Cheryl as Joanna. I don't know where Veronica would fit into this world, but I don't care. I just want them to do Sweeney Todd.
The meat pies. Best pies in London.
But I don't know if Veronica's a Mrs. Lovett type.
She could be. She could be anything.
I feel like it could be no, Midge is dead. Ethel, maybe? Or...
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other characters. Yeah, Sweeney Todd. That's my answer.
And Roberto told us that you guys might be going back to the 30s and 40s. Are there any other periods?
Is that what he said? He was teasing something like that to me earlier. Another flashback episode, and they're playing with the idea of having it be a period episode. So that would be really cool.
Are there any other periods that you want to go back to, or any other times?
I think the 40s would be super fun. That's where Riverdale. I feel like that's what Riverdale feels like, or the Archie comics feels like, the 40s,
So Veronica's constant love-hate battle with her father, Hiram, last season truly showed us just how strong Veronica can be in the face of adversity. Mm-hmm. How do you think her relationship with her father will shape her character this upcoming season?
I think we're going to... So, obviously, Veronica is the one who put Hiram in jail. So, whereas in season 1, she was lamenting the fact that he was in jail. In season 4, I think she's proud of herself. But Hiram has a vengeance, and he's after her and trying to make her life a living hell. So he's... I can't say exactly what he's doing, but he is causing trouble in her life, which is going to be an obstacle when it comes to getting into college and all of that.
So as you continue to explore this character now 4 seasons in, is there anything you find you're surprised to learn about yourself as an actor? Is it something new
100%.
every day?
Yeah, I'm constantly learning. I think this show makes us better actors. It's probably the most challenging set and challenging type of material. I think that doing material like this, it's very on the nose, kitschy, fun, and almost choreographed and very stylized. You kind of have to be super fearless and confident and just sell maybe a line that's the most ridiculous line you've ever read in your life, and you have to say it with complete conviction. So it's made me stronger and more adaptable, I think. And so now when I go to other sets and I'm doing projects that maybe have a more realistic tone, it's like a walk in the park versus what I have to deal with on Riverdale. So Riverdale's really made me a stronger actor, I think. Stronger in terms of not like, you know what I mean.
Okay.
Relationship-wise, what do you kind of hope to see for Veronica's relationships, not just romantic, like friendship and everything going forward in the next season? Because we haven't gotten to see as much friendship as maybe we would have liked.
Oh, trust me, me and Lily talk about this all the time. We miss Betty and Veronica so much. And I think season 4, because it's got that senior year aspect going on for it, I think we'll see a lot more of the entire gang getting together for things, solving mysteries together, interacting more together, more dynamics between characters. That feels like the focus of this season. So I'd be really surprised if we didn't see more Betty and Veronica scenes. Yeah,
good.
I miss that friendship.
For us, watching the show, I think it's constantly like, did Riverdale really do that? Like, is this really happening?
Riverdale did that.
And is it the same for you reading the script? Like, you get it and it's like...
Yeah, although you start to become desensitized to it. Like, there's nothing that can happen in Riverdale. I think the only moment I would ever be like, what, is if like legit magic happened. Although I will say, when I read that Cheryl was talking to her corpse brother, that definitely made me go, are you kidding me, Riverdale? Because that seems a little crazy.
I mean, but they exist in the same sort of universe as Sabrina, so they could bring that in, and then you would have magic.
Yeah, but that's Greendale.
Yes.
You know, that's across the lake or something. Across the water, across the river is Greendale, so I don't know.
Do you think Veronica could ever find herself in New York, you know, visiting, like...
I would love to see that. I would love to see that. And we've gotten asked questions about crossovers with Katie Keene as well. The only trouble with that is that then, you know, obviously Katie Keene takes place 5 years ahead, which means, you know, if they are going to write us into that show, they would have to commit to that choice that, you know, we're still alive, or, you know, where we end up in 5 years. So I don't know. We'll see. But I would like to see Veronica in New York regardless. I think it'd be cool to revisit her backstory a little bit.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Is it just cold?
It's just cold.
For you.
Okay. What's up?
I'm going to start by asking, how does it feel to be on a show that we as viewers, at least 4 or 5 times a season, go like, what? Did Riverdale do that? And then
Trust me, I'm acting in it. We're all doing the same thing.
Like, are you reading the scripts and thinking that?
Yeah, but that's what's fun. I mean, the job of the actors on this show is, at least in my opinion, trying to find a way to take these outlandish narratives and make them feel honest and real. But that's the fun of the job, is you get to go on a raid one episode, and then you get to watch your mother have a ninja battle next episode. It's fun. It's make believe. I mean, it's it reminds me of playing outside when I was a kid, and you know, having those fake wooden swords and running through the streets, and it's a pleasure for me to do it. I think that's what keeps you awake.
So, you know, from your first year experiencing Comic-Con to now going into 4 years of Comic-Con, what's it been like for you to see how the fandom has grown for the series?
It's incredible. It's dangerously validating. No, it's nice. We shoot up in Vancouver, so we don't often get to see the kind of fanaticism for the show in real time. And I think when you come here and you see the volume of people that are dressed as your characters, or that are filling Hall H, it's amazing. I mean, it's truly incredible, and they're the reason we're here. And I think Riverdale has an interesting little foothold in the comic convention circuit because we come from a legacy of 75 years of comics, which served as a perfect little petri dish for this environment, and for the kind of for it gave us a huge leg up and a huge advantage, especially in arenas like this. And yeah, I'm grateful.
On that note, though, real quick, like I know they mentioned earlier they were going to do a period jump of like for the Riverdale. Are you excited about that? Like they mentioned something about maybe the 30s, 40s.
To be honest, I would love to see an entire show set like Mad Men meets Riverdale in that time period. I think that would be really enjoyable, and it would be fun to act and play that kind of classic, well-pronounced voice acting that they were all doing. I mean, any chance we get to do stuff like that is fun and fresh, and that would be a good time.
Acting-wise, I think you've gotten to play so many different layers to the same character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's it like for you as an actor to get to play the dark side and like so many parts of that?
It's nice. I mean, it's versatile, and it's good training as well. I think you have to constantly evolve.
Are you surprised by anything that your character does at this point? Like I know you. Right?
There's no surprise. I mean, there's no borders to the universe that Riverdale has built. So whenever we take a step in one direction, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Or another direction, I'm like, yeah, that also makes sense. But Roberto and the writers have done a good job of sort of playing around with the genre every season. So every season's sort of been a little bit different of a feel and a vibe. And I know that this season is going to be very much a return to season 1 form. And the characters feel way more season 1. Jughead is very much season 1 Jughead. Way more focused on being a writer. And then his injection into this weird Gossip Girl prep school is going to be a lot of fun to play with.
Are we going to see more Jelly Bean this season? And
Yeah.
what was it like working with Trinity?
Trinity's awesome. We have a lot of fun. But yeah, it's we definitely see more of her.
One more bit of case.
I think we're also introducing some other characters her age, and it's my understanding that we'll probably get a little bit of a sneak peek into their kind of freshman introduction into Riverdale High, which will be a lot of fun.
But will Jughead be involved in that, being at the podcast?
No. Jughead's only in Riverdale on weekends, and I think when he is there, it's going to be very Core 4 centric. But from my understanding, I think it's actually going to put some tension in between Jughead and Jelly Bean, which I'm interested to play and interested to see.
So at the end of season 3, we finally got to meet the real Charles Smith. Do you feel his return could create any issues between Betty and Jughead's relationship this season?
I don't think it's going that way as of now, but I can imagine it will. I know that Betty's storyline is way more integrated with Charles than Jughead's is. I'm interested to see how Jughead and Charles interact, but as of now, I don't know.
And we've seen him, as a serpent and now with the prep school.
Mm-hmm.
How, those are such different worlds. How will he find that balance between the two going forward?
Oh, he'll survive. It depends on the writing. That's how he finds the balance. It's the way it's written.
The words they give you,
Yeah. No, I think he's going to feel like an outsider again, which was very season 1. I don't know, it's going to be a lot of fun to play. Jughead's a pretentious character, like he's a pretentious kid, and he's going into a school with incredibly pretentious kids, which I think is going to be humbling for him.